here of this describes the proposed, what we call heavy haul access route. And it gives it an idea of what's being proposed, which, in a nutshell, what they would do is there's the turbines themselves, the steam generator components, the large heavy haul equipment would come in by rail, so the rail siding right down near the boat where the hose company is. And we would use that, lease that area behind the hose company to offload that equipment onto appropriate heavy haul trailers. There's trailers they call gold hoppers. They have multi-axles.
They have lots of little wheels.
Lots of little wheels.
Balance the weight of the balance.
Has any contact been made with PennDOT? Because it's a
We've,
state road, you're probably getting into super loads.
There's informal contact has been made. Obviously, permits will have to be obtained.
Yeah.
But
Did they mention posting a bond on Hill Street?
they haven't, but
If we expect they will.
it would be expected, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do some damage to that.
Right.
Not that you want to, but you can.
Right.
There's some heavy equipment that's gonna be moved.
The concept with all of this, just like the Sunnyside Road, is if we break it, we fix it.
Now, what
More
is
likely
that?
than not, PennDOT will require a bond.
They may have to be involved because of the temporary traffic signal.
But we talked to them about that specifically,
Okay.
and they're just getting a permit application for that.
Is all the equipment that is moved from the fire company, let's use that as the staging area, to the site to be built, is all that clear to underpass?
Yeah,
That's all,
Yeah.
no problem that
yeah, the
will clear?
underpass is fine.
Yeah.
There are a few electrical lines along the Hill Street route that might have to be moved up. Sometimes they do that on a temporary basis, sometimes they just bring the electric company in and raise them beforehand. I think the other key is that they have, they've proposed, times when they would do the heavy haul. So, they would do, they would do them on, they wouldn't be doing them during peak hours of traffic. Basically, they would move them up. I think they have, proposed, two runs a day where they would do them before the morning peak and then like during the afternoon. And then they would load up for the next day and do two again the next day so that they avoid all the peak traffic. Yeah, so it would require, I mean, they'll use a specialty company that just does this, that's what their whole specialty is. They consulted with somebody called Fate, who does these types of work to put this plan together. So that's the last couple pages of that, just the heavy haul access route. I'm looking at it right now, they have option 1 and option 2. Option 1 is to do 2 cycles per day, and option 2 is to do 3 cycles per day.
How about that steep incline on Sunnyside Road? How do you plan on getting around that?
Experts say that they're not concerned that they can make that work at all. They do have an alternate route that they've talked about, which would actually have them come up on Highway 6 and build a temporary.
Like a dock?
Well, you would, no, it's more like a temporary exit ramp.
In the reverse direction of what you typically see.
It's the, if you go to the very last page, here, I'll point it out. Right here, they would build like a temporary ramp. They would come up.
We can't even open the governor's center right across it.
Very bottom picture. This is like an alternate route if they, they'll work with the heavy haul company if they think they have an issue with it. And that would require permitting. See where I'm pointing at?
So those
It's hard going up with a heavy load as it is coming down with a heavy load. That's the reason.
These guys do it for a living, so they'll figure it out.
So, the next section, under E, is, this is a copy of the waste management plan that we prepared, and was reviewed by DEP, reviewed and approved by DEP. Now, why do we have this here? As I think most people are aware, the back part of the project site, years ago, there was a municipal dump that was used 60s, 70s. It was shut down in the 70s. We did some research in that area. We found evidence of things like glass, plastic, ash. We are not building over that site, but it's difficult to know exactly how, the breadth of it. There's some evidence that it was not necessarily all on the property that's deeded to the borough. There was a deed that we identified that's shown in rectangular portion on the back of the site. And then this drawing here is probably the best thing for you to look at. Should be towards the back of that, or maybe something, I see you guys have it out. Figure 2. This one, figure 2, this is part of the waste management plan. So the rectangle back here is the description of the deeded part that we deeded to the borough a year, a long time ago. What is in orange in that circle is areas where we found in our testing some potential that there may be.
And the boring logs are attached to the waste management plan, they're at the back of that document.
So, given that you can see where the project overlays, it kind of just hits that little corner there. So given that, we put together a waste management plan so that if we do our excavation, we'll have the appropriate safety equipment there, air monitors, and then it gives us direction as to what we need to do if we do encounter any waste spills, whatever.
And I want to repeat one thing we mentioned at the last meeting. The boring logs, the testing that was done, did not reveal the presence of any hazardous waste.
It was all dump grease.
Yes.
Plastic.
General municipal waste and ash.
Is that orange outline that you have there, is that generally where you assume that trash was placed
Yeah,
in the past?
it's an estimate. Each of these circles you see on here that says EV, EV7, EV3, EV4, etc. Those correspond to the boring laws. So the ones that say EV, well, specifically say EV, were done specifically for environmental boring to see what was in that area. The other ones, B, that just start with B, were just general borings for our for geotech purposes.
I see there's one building in that, one building footprint in that area.
Yep.
You don't have any, I haven't seen anything in here about driving piles. Is that?
So let me touch on that just for a second, because there's not really a report per se in here.
Construction means and methods would normally be part of the building permit application, but.
Or land development.
Or land development. Right, probably land development.
But I want to address that. I mean, so subsurface conditions is a concern to us, obviously. We're going to build a power plant, invest a lot of money. We don't want it to fall into a little mine. So Invenergy hired a local geotech consulting, geoscience, I almost said the wrong thing, geoscience is Rich Scheller, the principal there. And they did an initial geotechnical evaluation of the site for us. That's most of these letters you see here, B1, B2, B3, those are all the borings that Rich Scheller and his organization did for us. They put together an evaluation of the subsurface conditions. We then used that to go out to our construction contractors and gave them that information to sort of base their bids on. We selected a construction contractor. That contractor then has the obligation for the final design of all of our foundations. So that contractor has done his own independent geotechnical evaluation. And from that, he's designing his foundations. Right now, he's telling us they'll be spread foundations. They won't be piles driven. He does believe that he'll have to do some of what they call dynamic compaction, which is where they go into specific areas where the soil bearing capacity is not what they want, and they compact it. You know, they basically hammer it and tighten it up. He also is, from what I know, is going to do some additional evaluation after the soil, the top surface soil is stripped off. He said he can get better evaluation and get an even better understanding of the subsurface conditions after that. So there's a lot of layers involved in the whole geotechnical evaluation and ultimately determining the design of foundation.
And any voids that are found as a result of the historic mining operations would be covered.
Yeah, you're not gonna build your plant on any danger, that's for sure.
Have you
How would you waste all that money?
They found some areas that they're a little bit suspicious of. That's why they're continuing to do some additional tests. So if they find any voids, there's a couple of options. They have one, they can do what they call grouting, essentially filling it with a cement type substance. The other is they can collapse it. And if they find a void, they can collapse it, and then they do dynamic compaction on top of it.
And that's part of this. This is attached to what's called the waste management plan, which addresses that possibility.
Dennis, they're not near where the bus went underneath, right, where it drove in?
No, I hope not.
Where was that, off Hudson Street? There was a car.
So the next section, tab F, is just a short letter. This applies to water usage, and this is just a well-served letter from Pennsylvania American. They'll be our water supplier. As you're all probably familiar, from our original land development application to now, we've changed our design from a wet-cooled tower to what they call a dry cooler or an air-cooled condenser. Our water consumption is really a very minor number in relative comparison.
You did mention something about 100,000 gallons.
So,
One of the last times we reviewed this.
yeah, our daily consumption would probably be between 100 and 200,000 gallons. Our permit application with the Susquehanna River Basin is actually higher than that. It's at 0.4, because it assumes sort of a worst case day. So we apply for an application so that we can draw more water in a given day than we think we would need for normal operation.
Up to a maximum of 400,000.
For the plant use, not for any other,
We don't even leave.
not for any other type. I was under the impression, I had made a note that someone said that night for fire suppression, that you wanted to protect?
So I might have said something to that effect. What I was saying was that, well, on a daily use for the plant, I might only need 100 or 200,000. I might have, if I had to fight a fire, I've got requirements to refill my fire water storage tank within a certain time period. So I need to draw more water from the system than temporarily. So that's why we go for the higher number in our permit.
The storage tank, that's holding the 1,000,000 gallons, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you needed to fill that,
Yeah.
you have so many hours to do that,
Yeah.
based on the water consumption of that tank. So if you use 500,000 gallons of that tank water for whatever reason,
Right.
and they say, meaning the National Fire Protection Standards, you have 8 hours to fill that tank. That's where you're requesting to have the cushion, to have the ability to fill that tank back.
Correct.
Do I understand that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that you're going to use or exhaust that amount of water from this plant.
Correct.
You're just filing an application to have it under approval in case you need to do something in lowering the volume of that water.
And that permit has been issued. The consumptive use permit has been issued by SRPC.
So the regular consumption is 100,000 to 200,000 gallons a day. Bobby asked the question, what's the discharge daily?
Yeah, what would be the discharge?
Or is that all
Steam.
vapor? and
No. Most of that would be discharged.
Okay.
Most of it.
200,000 gallons a day.
Maybe 400,000. We don't know yet.
There's
Keeps going up.
Yeah, maybe
there's
400.
one water use that we have which is
It's like business.
consumptive in nature, it evaporates. On the inlet to the gas turbine, we essentially have a humidifier on the inlet of the gas turbine. What that does is it adds moisture to the air, increases the amount of power output you can get out of the gas turbine. So in the summer, when the temperatures are warmer and the air is drier, we'll essentially inlet humidify the air going to the gas turbine to increase the power. So that air is exhausted, evaporated. Or that, I said air, water. Sorry.
Over what length of time would that 100 or 200,000 gallons discharge? 24 hours? Or basically, it would be an all day?
It would be, it really could be controlled however we need to control it. We could discharge it in batches, or we could discharge continuously in a very low volume.
I mean, the concern would be it's not going to open the floodgate and say, Eric, oh.
No, yeah, we wouldn't really, normally what you do, if you try to set it up so that you just have one.
Dan, isn't it more humid in the summer?
I'm sorry?
Isn't it more humid in the summer, the air is?
No comment.
I'm throwing out a question, or a little guidance, never mind, sorry.
What's your question, Jeff?
I've just said, isn't the air more humid in the summer and drier in the winter? Thus, the opposite of what he just said.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay.
But you, I guess maybe I didn't describe it very well, because what I was trying to say, you do your inlet humidification in the summer to increase your power output in the summer. In the winter, you can't because it's too cold, quite frankly. So it's anytime it's above 69 degrees, you can do inlet humidification. And that's really when your power prices are the highest and when you want to try to produce more power. So the next section, G, is a air quality impacts report. Specifically, this section G addresses, there's 3 ordinance requirements that directly address air quality and air. Section 6.46, 47, 48, which address smoke, odors, and other forms of air pollution. This section discusses that. It gives a summary of the compliance requirements that